As y'all can see, I'm sitting here with the princess. She is working very diligently on trying to put on her own shoes. She's extremely independent, and I love it, but sometimes it can be very difficult. We're sitting and watching some learning videos. You know, she thinks she's watching cartoons, but it's actually helping her to count. So we're sneaking in some learning on a Saturday morning to see. This is what happens when your father's a teacher. He gets you to think you're watching cartoons, but you're actually watching something educational. I think she's catching on that I'm videotaping her. But good morning, guys. Just wanted to come on and say good morning. I'm learning to scope more. This one is really just a lazy Saturday morning. I was up late writing last night. Good morning. I was up last night writing and working on my new novel. Actually, it's a novella that's turning into a novel, but a novel is 50,000 words, and I am at about 46, so it's really a novella. But it'll probably be a novel by the time I go through all the edits and everything. But I'm actually interested because it's my first serious attempt at writing fiction, and I'm having fun with it. And the characters, listen, the readers will let me know if I'm any good or not, so I'm not really worried about it. But right now, just sitting here and relaxing, and good morning, and just decided just to jump on because I did a scope last night where I find that I think folks should scope about a little bit of everything, long and short scopes, so people can get an idea who they are personally, who they are professionally. Last night it was definitely about particular subject matter. Yeah, that's why I let the editors do what they do. Actually, my wife is the initial editor, and then I send it off to my official editor, so she goes over some of the initial things and tightens that up. I just like to get it down on paper. I did my master's degree online that way. Also, when I wrote the papers, I would let my wife, straighten them out before I sent them to the professor. So I like to get my thoughts down. And, I'm an auditory learner too, so once I get it down and I read it back to myself, I can hear what direction is going in, or if it makes sense, or if it sounds pretty good or not. And so I think folks, when they use scope, like I said, it should be a little short and long. I think you should just what's going on so people can get to learn who you are. And as well as about serious or sometimes subject matter that you really want to engage folks in. I think that's another thing too that folks are missing. And I enjoy the opportunity to interact with folks from all over. It's a pleasurable thing, and as an author, as a father, as a husband, as a publisher, oh, no problem. I appreciate it. It's there, and so I definitely am glad when people hit the replays. But that's another thing too. I try to do things not so much for the reaction, but just to get it out so I know it can cause a reaction. And so if a person replays it or a person is watching live, I don't mind. I just enjoy the feedback. I enjoy the interaction. Come here, princess. Come here. Come here, darling. Come here. Kayelle. You got a piece of bread? Really? You see the star? And they dancing? Yeah? There she go. That's my little princess there. That's who drives me to make sure I'm doing the things I'm supposed to do. She still hasn't figured out these educational videos. She's like, she thinks she's just watching cartoons. Thank you. There you go. But it's actually working eye and hand coordination a lot. And as a health teacher and physical education teacher and as a dean of students, I find that the earlier that you can get children to interact with their body parts, to interact with space, it's going to help them movement-wise, as well as the information that's being given in the videos is actually going to help them when they're in the classroom too, because it's making them think and it's making them process. And a lot of parents will just turn on garbage and let their children sit in front of the television and watch garbage. Don't do that. Make sure, well, Sunday morning cartoons, you have to be careful. Depends on which cartoons you're allowing your children to watch. These are actually educational videos that have the nursery rhyme songs that help stimulate different things. A child, oh, she disappeared. Let me turn that around. They're designed to stimulate the child, so the music and the coordination and things like that. With regular Sunday morning and Saturday morning cartoons, some of them are extremely violent, and I refuse to allow her to watch it. We're not even going to get that started in the house. I've been working with middle school kids now 18 years. I was a high school dean for 2 years. So you have to be careful, because once some of that stuff is inside their heads, you can't get it out. And it is so predicated on violence and destruction that if you ever just sat and watched them yourself, you are really looking at some very demonstrative things that are encased in what's called cartoons. But with educational videos, it's a little bit different. They're set up like cartoons because they attract the kid and bring the kid in. But we're talking about shapes, and you're listening to a lot of different techniques that are going to stimulate the child's brain. So when they're in a classroom, and especially at the earlier ages with younger, the Smurfs were a little violent too, believe it or not. But some are a little bit different. Some of the cartoons have changed, but you do have to pay attention, because not every cartoon created was actually created with the idea of benefiting the child. And you have a lot of individuals who create cartoons who are really trying to input things to children that are maybe not the greatest. So I would as an educator always explain to parents, make sure that you sit and pay attention to the very cartoon. Hey baby girl, where you at? Come here. Come here. Leave mommy's computer alone. You better leave mommy's computer alone. Come here, darling. Come say hi. Come say hi. You wanna come say cheese? Come here. Come say cheese. Stop. You're gonna pull that down, darling. I'm sorry, my darling is. Stop. Little girl. Come here. You want some cheese? Come here. You want to say cheese? Come here, look. Oh, she ran off again. She was trying to pull the computer down on the floor. But you have to be very careful, because not everything that is labeled for children is actually for children. And I've seen parents allow their children to read things that I would never allow a child to get their hands on, because when you actually pay attention to it, she dropped your cord out though. You start to read the subject matter. You also have to look at what's being inferred. Have a good one. You have to look at what's being inferred in some of these so-called cartoons, because inference is something that has an effect on the brain, but some children don't realize what's going on, but then it shows itself later on, or comes to life and then manifests itself in other ways. So you got to be very careful of that. So I just wanted to jump on today. Like I said, it's a lazy Saturday morning. I'm actually going to get up in a little while. And hey, baby doll, we gonna come say hi? Come here. You gonna come say hi? She's hanging out with mommy. I have some running around to do. Come here, darling. Say cheese. Say cheese. You dancing? You dancing? You dancing? There you go. You dancing? No? And she's 17 months this weekend, so she is tall and somewhat advanced. And Lord, she has attitude. She has her own personality, so we are not trying to curb that. Come here, mama. You don't want your bread? So anyway, well guys, that is it for now. I'll probably jump on with something maybe later on. Like I said, I got some running around to do. I got to get a couple of bowling balls worked on, because I have to start practicing to get ready for the winter time. And I have some interviews to get ready for. I have a school that I am considering working with the younger kids. I've never worked with the K through 5 kids. It's a consideration. As a big guy, they get scared of me, but it's actually something that seems interesting, as well as the wife and I are still trying to move out of New York and move to Delaware. That is something that we're keeping our fingers crossed and we're praying about, because I have gotten to that point with New York City that I am just tired for what we're spending, and Delaware is a perfect fit for us. So keep us in prayer. So, have a wonderful day, guys. Appreciate you jumping in and joining me on today's Scope. Feel free to follow me. I'm on Twitter also, KL Belvin, Facebook, KL Belvin, Google Plus, KL Belvin. And as many of you know, I am an author, I am a publisher, educator, mentor, husband, loving father, all of those things. But let's get to know each other. Follow me, I'll follow you, so I can get to learn who you are and where you're from. And hopefully we'll do this more often. Take care.